It's an undeniable fact of life that for years, we men have had it easy, at least when it comes to bathroom facilities. We move quickly in and out of public restrooms while the women wait and wait on lines that sometimes snake endlessly along the hallway. Well, as Lynn Scher reported a while back, the time has come for a change. At last, women are demanding and getting solutions to a long-standing problem that can have serious consequences.
It is a waste of time, but when you have to go, you have to go. What are you going to do?
It's completely unfair. It's an atrocity.
It's pathetic. It's the longest line you could possibly wait on. There's only 4 stalls, but the men's line, there's no line.
It is the issue that unites all women everywhere, the unavoidable bathroom line. At social outings, you don't just stand in line, you talk about it endlessly.
And I think they ought to have more bathrooms for women.
It doesn't matter where you are, the theater, the ballpark, an outdoor concert. At some point, panic sets in. Can you beat the crowd to the bathroom? We rush, we race, just to get stuck waiting. And men get stuck waiting for us.
It is a pain because basically, I mean, you're waiting forever and, you know.
For women, the waiting game involves subtle strategy and purposeful planning.
This is my second attempt trying to get in today, and I hope I make it to the end of the intermission.
And what if you don't?
I'm going to walk out again, and this time I'm going to have to sit with my legs crossed because I'm not going to get up again.
To leave or not to leave before the first act is over? That is the question.
I was waiting in line going, hurry up, and I thought going in the middle of the movie that nobody's going to be in there, but there was a line still in there.
There is always a line.
Number 4, number 5, number 6 to the left.
At Philadelphia Sports Arena, the Spectrum, Rita, who calls herself the queen of the latrine, plays traffic cop, trying to get women in and out of the bathroom quickly.
5 to the right. Hit it. All right, girls, time's up.
But when that doesn't work, many women sick of waiting or just plain desperate take matters into their own hands and go next door.
Sometimes we go to the men's room if no one's around.
I often wonder why we wait when I see the men's room is empty. Why not just walk in there?
Women should store men's bathrooms until they start building more toilets.
Denise Wells made history back in 1990 doing just that. On a second attempt for relief at a packed George Strait concert at the Summit in Houston, she found once again a long line at the ladies' room. Instead of waiting, as her need became more urgent, she headed for the relative luxury of the uncrowded men's room, not realizing she had just broken a city law.
I'm not really someone that just goes out to do things to make a statement, and I didn't do it for that reason. I did it out of necessity.
Wells was ticketed and thrown out of the hall. She pled not guilty and went to court to fight the charge. She became a hero, a champion of the change that has come slowly since her daring entry into forbidden territory.
So, in you go.
In I go.
Now, how many people were there? Many people in there?
Oh, there were probably 6 or 8 gentlemen.
Now, what was the reaction when you walked in there?
And their backs to me, I don't know.
At trial, a witness who was in the men's room at the time testified that Wells walked in covering her face and apologizing.
I felt sorry for her, I really did, because that line was so large.
The jury also felt sorry for her and acquitted in 23 minutes.
If we're going to have to pay the same ticket price as men pay for the same seat, then we need to be in and out of a restroom line in the same amount of time.
After the trial, the Summit renovated its bathrooms, tripling the number of stalls for women.
Men seem to take very little time to go, and women spend a lot of time waiting in line.
Time, that is the key to this whole issue. And it led to a groundbreaking study in 1988, which first measured the actual number of seconds men and women spend using public restrooms. The study proved something we've known for a while. Women take nearly twice as long as men. There's no difference in our bladders. We're just built differently.
Men just zip and unzip and they're done, whereas a woman has pantyhose and whatever to pull up and pull down and so forth, and it takes much longer.
It can even delay the business of government. As a rookie representative in 1990, New York's Susan Molinari thought her only option was a public restroom in the basement of the Capitol.
Did you ever encounter a line?
Oh, sure.
Did you stand in line?
This is a very busy place. Mm-hmm.
So you never cut in a ladies' room line, but there were lines.
Listen, of course there were lines, but we also know
There's a lot of things that we do here in the House of Representatives that get people mad, that get people upset. But there is nothing worse you can do to somebody than cut a woman off in line for the bathroom. I'm not going to do it. But I'm tough. I'm not that tough.
It can be funny, and we can all joke about it because we've all stood in line. But there is a serious side to this issue as well, and it's led some women to complain of consequences to their health and their jobs. The examples are dramatic. In Texas, the owner of this baseball cap factory opted to cut 29 women from the workforce rather than add a ladies' room to comply with the federal regulation. In California, hundreds of women are suing their employer and their union over the use of toilets.
I could sneak off to the bathroom. We would try and sneak off. Either you run or you just stay there and wet your pants.
Grown women, some of them grandmothers, risking their jobs to go to the lavatory. These women say that's what happened to them while they worked at a Nabisco food processing plant in Oxnard, a plant that produces Grey Poupon mustard, A1 steak sauce, and Ortega salsas.
What were the rules that existed? Well, the rules that it existed with them is that you are not going to the bathroom until you get your break.
At the break, they say, women rushed by the hundreds for the available stalls.
And everybody's trying to outrun each other, trying to get to the bathrooms. And of course, you know, some of the ladies, some of them are pretty fast. And when you got there, you looked underneath to see how many legs were there, and they were all filled up.
Was there a line for the ladies' room?
There was always a line for the ladies' room.
Because?
There was not enough time, not enough stalls. Like I say, sometimes they'd be full, and we'd run to the other ones, and the other ones would be full too.
Were there break times when you couldn't get into either restroom?
Yes. Yes, many, many times.
As a result of what they say were several years of such practices, the women filed a class action suit against Nabisco for sex discrimination, saying the company refused to allow women on production lines an adequate and reasonable opportunity to use a toilet. And rather than leave the production line, were told to urinate in their clothes or face disciplinary action.
There
were accidents?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
There was women that actually had accidents on the production line. They had to go so bad, they relieved themselves on the line because they were so afraid to go.
Some women brought notes from their doctors requesting permission to use the bathroom anytime as needed. But they still ended up with infections they say were caused by waiting too long.
I got yeast infection, you know. And then my kidneys too, because I wouldn't drink water. I wanted to go real bad, and I was trying to hold it, and there was no way to escape and, you know, run to the bathroom. So I had to hold it until the break time. Then I had the worst pain in my stomach.
In an act of desperation, the women say they finally resorted to wearing diapers.
3 at least to change, which I would have to wear in order to be able to work.
It must have been particularly humiliating for all of you. Some of you are grandmothers to be in this situation wearing diapers or pads or something.
Very embarrassing. We just felt like little kids. That's what we mean when we say we were humiliated.
I'm just hurt. I sympathize with these women. Just the way they became like little children. Grown women being stripped, you know, from their dignity, from access, you know, just to go to the restroom. Just because they wanted to go to the restroom, they couldn't.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is investigating the case against Nabisco and has so far ruled in the women's favor. With a lawsuit pending, Nabisco chose not to talk to us on camera, but in a statement, denied the allegations and described their work rules as appropriate and fair. Nabisco also noted that relief workers were provided to stand in for women who had to leave the production line to go to the bathroom. Today, fewer than half the states have laws to make bathroom facilities more equitable, but they're all different. In Florida, for instance, new buildings must provide 3 women's toilets for every 2 men's, while Washington State says the ratio in new theaters must be 4 to 1.
It could be that there are about 800 women on a full night.
Architect Denise Scott Brown has crusaded for years to make ladies' rooms more efficient.
Is one of the reasons why traditionally there has not been enough room